They told my wife my cargo plane went down over the Alaskan wilderness. They didn't know I survived the crash and spent 2 grueling years recovering in an isolated tribal outpost. After 2 brutal years fighting my way back from a remote mountain crash, I finally walked through the front gates of the modern estate I built. I purchased this property with the heavy logistics bonuses I earned piloting extreme cargo flights through sub-zero weather. It was meant to be a permanent, safe haven for my wife, Clara, and our teenage son. I returned completely unannounced, wanting to surprise my family before the rest of the world found out I was alive. But the private security guard at the gate didn't recognize my face. That single detail told me everything had changed. Inside, the home felt completely hollow, cold, and stripped of life. Then, I heard the rhythmic sound of a rag wiping down the floor-to-ceiling glass windows in the main pavilion. A woman stepped into view wearing a faded housekeeping uniform. It took my mind a moment to process that I was looking at my own wife, Clara. Clara, I called out, my voice cracking. She turned around, startled, her eyes wide but completely emotionless. Sir, the home tour isn't scheduled until noon, she replied softly. That formal word cut deeper than the freezing wilderness wind. Before I could say another word, my son appeared at the top of the floating staircase. He looked taller, distant, and glared at Clara like she was just a clumsy, hired servant. Dad, he said sharply, looking at me with confusion. She's not supposed to be talking to the guests. She needs to finish the windows. Clara immediately turned back around and kept wiping the glass. In that exact moment, I didn't lose my temper. A cold, mechanical clarity washed over me instead. I stepped into the private home office, locked the door, and made one call to my aviation attorney. Thomas, I said, my voice dead calm. I'm standing in my house. My wife thinks I'm a ghost and my son treats her like a maid. It's time. Within 2 hours, Thomas uncovered the absolute betrayal. My business partner had told Clara that my plane's insurance policy was voided due to pilot negligence. Because I was declared dead, my partner used a predatory corporate clause to seize control of my estate's finances through a corrupted trust. I asked Clara to meet me down by the tree line away from the property's security cameras. The moment she realized I was truly standing there, she collapsed into my arms. They told me you were gone, she sobbed. Your partner said he would sue me for the lost cargo unless I stayed on as a live-in housekeeper to pay off the company's legal debt in silence. It was systematic psychological cruelty. My partner had fed my son a completely fabricated story that his mother was financially unstable, forcing her into servitude just to stay near her child. The next morning, we met in federal court. My partner arrived with his corporate lawyers, smiling like a man who had already won the company shares. You vanished in the mountains, my partner sneered. Someone had to manage the logistics. You didn't manage them, I replied. You stole them. His lawyers tried to present documents proving Clara's financial incompetence, but they didn't expect the evidence we brought. Clara had secretly saved every original maintenance log, every hidden bank transfer, and every threatening text message my partner had sent her over the last 2 years. The judge didn't need to raise his voice. He looked at the forged insurance fraud timelines, and my partner's face went completely white. You fabricated a corporate liability report to hijack an estate that wasn't yours, the judge declared, slamming his gavel. The trust is dissolved effective immediately. Full asset guardianship is restored to the rightful owners. Federal marshals will escort the defendants off the property. Outside the courtroom, my son stared at Clara through tears of absolute shock. Mom, he whispered. Clara pulled him into a tight embrace. The nightmare finally over. My partner walked past us, whispering, this isn't over yet. I looked him dead in the eyes. It is. You just haven't realized it yet.